Hey guys, today's question is maximum swap. In this question, we are given with an integer value num and we can swap any two digits only once in the number and we have to return the maximum value we can attain after doing this operation. Like in this example, 2736, we can swap this 7 with this 2, so the output will become 7236 and we will return it as answer because we can't swap anymore. If we had allowed to swap once more, we will have swapped 6 and 3 and 7263 was a greater value, but we can swap only once, so 7236 is the answer in this case. In this case, num equals to 9973. We can't swap any two values to generate a bigger value, so no swap, and the output is 9973. Now let's see the approach. So let's continue with the example 12736. Here we can see we have to swap the leftmost value with the rightmost value, okay, because like in the example we swap this 2 with a bigger value in the right side of this 2. We could have swapped with 3, but 3 3726 would have been a smaller value, okay. So we swapped this 2 with the biggest value in the right side of it, and like in this example there is no value in the right side which is bigger than this for every value. That's why we didn't need any swap. So for this 2 we swapped 7 and we got 7236. So we have to swap with the biggest value in the right side, okay. Now let's take another example to understand well. For example, if 2773, if we say that we have to swap with the biggest value in the right side, okay, and we iterate from starting. So for this 2 we have the biggest value 7, so can we swap these two values? Because the 7 is the biggest value in the right side, the array will look, the number will look like 7273 after this. But what if we swap this 2 with this 7? Because we are not said that we have to say swap with the adjacent value only. So if we have swapped this 2 with the 7 at the third position, sorry, the array could have been looked like 7723, okay. Now you can see 7723, this value is greater than this value. So what we can conclude is we have to swap with the largest value in the right side, but at its rightmost position, because it was its rightmost position. Because for example, if the number was 2777, the if you swap this 2 with this 7, the array would look like 7277. If you swap this 2 with this 7, array will look like 7727. And if we swap this 2 with the last 7, the number will look like, sorry, 7772. So you can see 7772 is the largest number, and now we can conclude that we have to swap this value to the largest value from the right side, which is at its last position, okay, at its rightmost position. That is simple. Now if we didn't find any value, largest value in this case, for example, if the number was 7362, okay, now what we have to do, for this 7 we didn't find any value in the right side, so we will check for this 3, and what we will get is 7. Now 6 is bigger value, so 7632, okay. So we will iterate from left to right and we will check for the rightmost value, okay. Now for checking the rightmost value at the rightmost side, the biggest value in the rightmost side, that the complexity will be O of n square. So to optimize this a little bit, we will use maps or a vector of numbers, because there are only 10 digits, so the size of vector will be 10. The number, wait a second, so the number is only between 0 to 10 to the power 8, so the size of vector will be 8 only. And for storing the largest, sorry, for storing the rightmost occurrence of any digit, we will use a vector of 10 size that will store value 0 to 9, okay. Now let's code it to understand well. So the given constraint num can be 0, so if num is initially 0, if num equals to 0, we will simply return 0 as the answer, we can't do anything. Now if it's not 0, first we will convert it into string, because doing this swap operations etc in a string and extracting the digits from strings are easy. So let's convert it to string. So string str equals to string num. Okay, now let's take the variable and as size of the string, number of digits in the num. So n equals to str dot size, and we have to take a variable also to check what the max value in the right side. So let's take a variable max in right. Initially let's take it as the last value, so str n minus 1, and to convert it to digit we will subtract it by this 0. We have also to take no, we don't need to take any answer. Okay, now let's create first the vector to storing the max value at every point in the right side. So vector int v10 comma minus 1 initially. Now we will iterate from the left side to right side, so from the right side to left side of the string. So int I equals to n minus 2. Now we have to start with the second last digit because we don't need to check for the last digit. There is no digit in the right side of the last digit. Okay, so I equals to n minus 2, I greater than equals to 0, I minus minus. Now we have to check for the max digit. So if the current digit is smaller than the max in the right, so we will store the value at that index. Okay, so if str of I minus 0, if this value is smaller than the max in right, okay, then what we will do is we will store that index, store that value at that index. So v of I equals to max in right. Now at every point we will update our variable max in right to the maximum of the previous value and the current value. So maximum of max in right and the current value, which is str of I minus 0. Okay, now we have calculated the max value for every character, max value at right side for every character. Now we have to create another vector to store the last occurrence of every character. Okay, so let's take another vector name, let's say v2. Let's take 10 comma minus 1. Okay, 0 to 9 index. Okay, now let's again run a loop. So for int I equals to, this time we have to run from n minus 1 to I greater than equals to 0 and I minus minus. Okay, now if current value, if the index of the current value is minus 1, then we will update that value, otherwise we won't do anything. So if v2 of str of I minus 0 double equals to minus 1, that means we didn't found any value till that point at that index. So in this case we will update. So v2 of str of I minus 0 will be updated as the current index. Okay, now what we said that we will iterate from left to right, and for every character if we have any value greater than it in the right side we will swap and then break, because we can do this operation only once. Okay, so let's run a loop for that. For int I equals to 0, I less than str dot size minus 1. Okay, I plus plus. Now if v of I not equals to minus 1, that means there is a bigger value in its right side. Okay, then we will simply swap the value to that index. So swap str of I current index, and the next index will be given by v2 of v of I, because v of I will give the maximum value and v2 will give the rightmost occurrence of that value. So we will swap it with the str of v2 of v of I. Okay. After swapping, we will simply break because we can swap only once. And now after all this operation, we have to return the value in the integer format. So let's use sty function and str. Okay. Let's simply run this. Okay, we did something wrong. Max in right equals to undeclared and fire. Okay, spelling mistake. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's submit. So the code is accepted. Thank you for watching.